sponsor. The major sponsor for tonight's show is the Elephant and Castle Hotel. Mario Gregorio, president of the Corio Soccer Club, he's joining us, but also now direct all the way from the UK, from Liverpool, the man who once upon a time was tearing up the flanks and the blades of grass at Hume Reserve, MJ Monaghan. Michael, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And what's it like over in Liverpool at the moment?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Slowly getting back to normal, to be honest. If I can remember what normal is, but it's just been a crazy year and a half since it's all happened. But there's no football like at my level. We've had two seasons, 2 seasons null and void. Yep. We'll be back in July for pre-season, and then the season restarts in August.
Murray, you can't pull a few strings and get him back to Hume Reserve, 2-week quarantine period maybe, down through Avalon Airport. It's a sponsor. We've just had a Mario muted. Sorry, Mario, can you repeat that? You were on mute.
Oh no, I guess I wish I could get MJ back. We talk to each other regularly still, and I just wish I could have someone tearing down, the left or right wing, as he did last year. And he was also a great motivator as well in the change rooms when he was injured. He broke his leg for 10 weeks, came back, and was fantastic. One of the main reasons why we got promoted.
Yeah, MJ, tell us a bit what's been happening since you left Corio. But actually, before we do that, what were your fondest memories of Corio? What were some of the funny moments? What were some of the memorable moments during your stay at Hume Reserve?
To be honest, it was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. I obviously come over with my girlfriend, and straight away we just loved the place. We loved everything about it. The people were friendly. Mario helped us out. The players were friendly. The players' girlfriends were friendly. Everything just seemed like seamless. And then obviously I broke my leg. I think it was April, and from then it was for that next 10 weeks. It was tough, especially the 2 or 3 weeks after that. I had so many unanswered questions. I didn't know if I'd be able to come back. I didn't know whether I'd get sent home. Probably a lot of other club presidents probably would have looked for a replacement and said, we can't keep you there, type of thing. So that was in the back of my mind. I'd also dragged my girlfriend over the other side of the world to come with me, and I had her to think about. So sorry, I've just got the dog here. She's
we haven't had a dog on the show for a while.
No, this is a first. We have had UK direct from the UK. We have had guests, but never a little canine. What's his or her name?
Her name's Nelly.
Nelly. Ah, nice.
Named after the rapper.
Yeah.
Now, MJ, we've got a couple of fans that want to say hello. Jackson Davis says, here he is. Tell everyone how much you love and miss the pizza over here in Australia, MJ.
You know what? I'm a massive pizza fan. On a Sunday, me and my girlfriend, we used to get pizza all the time. And it took us forever to find a nice pizza, because over here, Pizza Hut is just like the pizza to get over here. But over there, it just wasn't nice. And some of the pizza places, what Jackson is referring to is some of the pizza places were just full of shredded ham. And they'll pick the ham off for like 10 minutes before they eat the pizza.
But it's filling. You only need a small, and you don't need to. Yeah. Haven't we got a few pizza places, Mario, that are sponsors of Corio Soccer Club? Kafitsa, for example.
Yeah, Kafitsa. MJ just didn't like all the shredded ham. He used to just complain to me every Thursday night. What is this?
That's what makes pizzas, the shredded ham. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
I'm not sure. I go the vegetarian pizza these days a fair bit, Tom. So that's one way to avoid it.
I mean, I don't mind shredded ham, but it was just a little bit too much. That's the only problem.
I remember 2 years ago, thereabouts 2018, we were coming back from Wembley. My boy and I were over at a holiday on a holiday trip over there, watching Tottenham and Burnley. And it was coming back towards the stadium. There's I don't know, it wasn't Pizza Hut, was it Domino's maybe, or some other one of those takeaway pizza joints. And the biggest pizza I've ever seen, it was huge. And we thought, we're not going to get through this. You know what? We ate it. We weren't hungry because there's no ham on there. It was just thin, this crispy thing. It was like, this is not a pizza. But anyway.
From one extreme to the other.
Yeah. Now, Prescott Cables, mate, that's the team that you've signed for most recently. Unfortunately, we haven't, I guess, as you said, you haven't had a chance to really see much action this last year. But tell us a bit about this competition. It's the Northern Premier League, based in Liverpool, is that right? And it's about the 7th or 8th tier of the competition in the UK.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, 7th or 8th, but it's competitive. I mean, football in England is just so competitive throughout the divisions, and you know we got quite a lot of fans. You know, that game that's on there, that's a local derby. I think we had about 900 to 1,000 fans that game. I've obviously played for Prescott before I come to Australia, so it's a bit like home for me. All the lads, I'm good friends with them, and the fans are all good. You know, great.
Yeah,
yeah. That was a last minute winner, so that was one of the highlights. But yeah, it's very competitive. It's a lot different. You know, like if you look at that, that's like 7th or 8th tier in English football, and you know we've got our own stadium, and we have quite a lot of fans who come down. We've got a lot of volunteers, and it's I suppose it's kind of all we know football. Whereas in Australia, I know the AFL's big, and I know the Aussies. You're proud of the AFL and stuff like that. So I don't know whether because that's our first and like most prominent sport, then that's why we get a lot of fans and volunteers and stadiums and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. What was it? What about the standard of the football? Compare it to say the State 2 that you played in, and often people say the physicality of Australian football is quite significant or quite immense. But particularly as you go down the lower levels of State League, I remember watching some of those Karaya games where you were playing, and Curtis Bateson as well, and it was bone crunching tackles, particularly the derbies against Geelong Rangers, Mario. So those games, they weren't for the faint-hearted, were they?
No, they definitely weren't. But look, MJ held his own in our league, and both him and Curtis could have played at a higher level. I studied the Northern Premier League before MJ came out, and everyone's come through some sort of academy over there, and unfortunately, everyone thinks their son's a superstar here, but the talent in England's just enormous, incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And MJ, how did you find the standard yourself and the style of football here compared to back home?
I don't think the style. I mean, styles change between different managers in England. So the style, it was a change, but it wasn't drastic. The physicality side of it, Mario did warn me. He said before I come over, like it's very physical, and I said it is here. It's very physical here, but the difference I found was I think the standard of the refereeing over there was not as good as it was in England. So we're in England where I'm kicked all the time. I always felt protected by the referees and the officials. Where over there, I don't really feel like I had that. So I had that was one thing I had to adapt quickly, and probably how I broke my leg. I went into a tackle, and the lad just come completely over the top of the ball and broke my leg. But that was probably me being a little bit naive, thinking it's physical in England, it's physical here, so what type of thing. But that was probably the biggest change. It's physical at both levels. You're playing against big men athletes. You know what I mean? So it's physical both sides.
Steve.
MJ, what is life like for a footballer playing in a division such as the Northern Premier League? Like the historic nature of the club, I see it's 137 years old, the Prescott Cables there. That's pretty impressive. Do most of the players work during the week, and then how many sort of training sessions do you have to try and fit in, and then the match day as well?
Yeah, so it's just the same, well, similar to what it was at Cryo. So it's just part time. We normally train at the start of the season. We normally train pre-season Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday for a few weeks, and then we go into some pre-season games. When the season starts for the first half of the season, we play every Tuesday night and every Saturday, and then we train for Thursday. And then sort of after Christmas time, the Tuesday games die off a little bit, and you train Tuesday, train Thursday, and then play on a Saturday. But obviously around that, we all have normal jobs. We all work Monday to Friday or whatever hours people work. Obviously the money it's not enough to be supported financially full time. So it's more of like it is a part-time job really.
So what do you do in the when you're not playing football? What do you do to earn a living? I guess over there.
Yeah, I'm a barber. I started barbering about a year ago. Probably wouldn't guess I need a haircut, but yeah. So that's my job. It kind of allows me to do both. I mean, a lot of jobs you can't do because of the football. I mean, you can't work in retail and in shops because the hours and stuff like that. Sometimes on a Tuesday we might play 4 or 5 hours away, and I might have to say to my boss, like, can I leave at 1 o'clock, and he's fine about it. So you have to find that balance between work and football, and some players have to miss games because they can't get time off work. We've got some players who are teachers. I've played with people who are police officers who have to work night shifts, and there's so many different lines of work that are involved.
Now we've got another. Sorry,
Steve,
you go, mate.
I was just going to say, MJ, with the COVID situation over there, how's that affected your work in recent months? But also, how are you managing to keep fit and hopefully that you'll be good to go for when football does resume at the moment?
Work. So I think we went into the first lockdown over here last March, so a year ago in March. So from March to July, I was off. And then we come back for like 2 or 3 months, and then we were off again for a month, and then we've been off again. So I've probably worked in total probably about 4 months in the past 12 months. Other than that, I've just been at home, keeping fit, doing a little bit of road running and sessions at home. But it's tough for me to get motivated to do sessions in the back garden. It's not for me. But I'm one of them where it doesn't really take me long. I don't put weight on really, so it's more about like getting up to speed with me touch and getting a feel of the ball. So I start playing 5-a-side in through the week, and that's what I've started already. So I'll be ready. It normally takes me a couple of weeks. I mean, that's what pre-season's for really anyway, to get you fit and get you sharp again.
Ari, have you got any questions to ask your former player, and who knows, maybe a future player as well down the track?
Yeah, that's right. No, I just wanted to ask MJ because we're a little bit immune to it in Australia about COVID. I mean, is it real? Like, do you know people that are sick and really sick? I mean, I went to the football 2 weeks ago. There's 50,000 people, and is it real, COVID?
I mean,
your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't directly know anyone who's like died from it, but I do know people who say that their mum might have died. But there's always some sort of underlying health problem with it. So I haven't heard of anyone directly dying from COVID, but I've heard of someone having, I don't know, say cancer, and then they've attracted COVID and then died. I mean, I think it's real. I think it's out there. I know people who have had COVID and not died from it, and they've just been unwell and whatever. But I also think there's a lot of like scaremongering amongst the media, and a lot of the figures aren't correct. They're saying like 130,000 people have died from COVID, and I don't really think it's that many. But I mean, I don't know whether we'll ever know to the full extent how bad it is or how bad it was. But obviously here we've had a lot of like the over 60s and the vulnerable people vaccinated. So it looks like we're at the back of it now, hopefully.
Yeah. Is there talk when the lower leagues, say for example the Northern Premier Leagues, when that will come back? Is it goodbye for this season and it's just talk about starting afresh from the 21-22 season, or are they talking about a shortened end of maybe summer league, or what's happening with the lower leagues down there in England?
Yeah, so we stopped in January, but we played one game, played on Boxing Day, and in December, and then we stopped. We stopped from then, but it was we never heard like if it was going to be cancelled or delayed or whatever. It was just it's being suspended until we're out of this situation. And then the months went by, and I think it was last month they made an announcement saying this last season is being null and void, and we'll be back in August for the next season. Hopefully with supporters and everything back to normal then.
Few more months to go. Now, mate, I do want to ask you this one question. Overnight, we're hearing all this talk about a Super League in Europe, and one of those clubs obviously being Liverpool and Manchester United and some of the other clubs around that area where you are from. What's the general feeling? Have you spoken to many people or some of the teammates or even the media there? What's the general feeling about this so-called rebel European Super League?
It's just it's a shambles, to be honest. Yeah, I've that's what I was doing on my phone as I was listening to this. I was talking to people from the team and looking at people's tweets and stuff. And I mean, the general consensus is that no one wants it to happen. You probably get like your average, we call them armchair fans. Just don't really go to the match, don't know the history. Especially Liverpool. Liverpool's brought upon a history of like your working class man, and it's always for supported like your average man, and it's kind of just being took over by the rich football now. It's just gonna. I mean, I don't see why they have to change the Champions League, because that's kind of the pinnacle for club football. So what you have in England is your top four race is for the Champions League, and that's so interesting to watch. So now they take that out and make this European Super League. It just affects the Premier League. So you're going to have the likes of, West Ham and Leeds and Everton playing in the Champions League, but none of the big clubs. It has such a knock-on effect for like every part of football. It's everything wrong with football at the minute, to be honest.
Your thoughts, mate? Will it get off the ground? I mean, it's hard to say, obviously, but what's your gut telling you?
I think me heart saying no, but my head saying it's. Why would all the clubs come out with statements and stuff like that if they weren't a bit behind it? But I just seen before that Mourinho's just being sacked, and apparently it was because he wouldn't take the players onto the pitch because he doesn't agree with the Super League. So apparently he's had a falling out and they've sacked him. So I mean, if that sort of thing's happening, I think that would have to happen at every club. Yeah, I mean. And I know Klopp's against it because last year he said he was against it. So I'd be interested to see what his thoughts are. But I mean, I really hope it doesn't happen. It's that could be the beginning of the end of football, like for me.
Yeah, never thought I'd say I like Jose Mourinho now.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling.
Yeah, Steve, have you got any last questions for our guests from the UK? We could go on all night, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could. I was going to go right back to the start again. Can you tell us about that first time when you first made contact with Carrillo and how it all happened that got you to first play for the club?
So I'd been looking at it for a while, actually, probably for 2 years previously, and every time it come round, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I just didn't go, and it come round, and I spoke to a lad who was there, Dan Hattersley, and it's just I knew he'd been over there, and I just said like, well, what's it like? And he told me it was good, and he said, I've got a number for a man who's looking for a president who's looking for players. Do you want me to pass your number? And I said, yeah, why not? And then since then, obviously, I had a message every other night from Mario, and I'd play.
He's a persistent bugger, isn't he? That's what he wants.
It's good because obviously it's a massive thing, and like I had the family. My family were worried, because it's such a big thing. But it made me feel good because I'd finished one of my matches, and I'd look at my phone after I've had a shower in the changing room, and Mario would text me saying, "Oh, another goal, well done," and I'd look at the time, and it'd be like 4:30 in the morning, and I'd think, he's keen. So
he's mad.
That was kind of a bit crazy, but yeah, no, that was kind of how it started, and then we talked a lot over. It was probably about 3 or 4 months, wasn't it, Mars, before I decided like I was going to come over. But Yeah, the best thing I've ever done. Like, such a good time there.
There you go. So you'd recommend it to other teammates over there to come out and live life in Geelong and experience Australian life here and play for Corio?
100%, yeah, definitely.
Try the pizza.
Yeah.
Not the shredded ham.
There you go. Maybe a business opportunity, Mario, down at Elephant Castle. Pizza's just for English expats, you know. Probably wouldn't cost you much to make, would it? You wouldn't have to worry about the ham or anything like that. All jokes aside, MJ, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Really enjoyed it. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone who's put their comments on today, Santina, Mamoni, Joey G, Slavko Pantelic, a lot of people from Corio have been very active, but also the numbers have been great. So it's great to have an insight, and we certainly look forward to the day when we can once again see you strutting your stuff on the. By the way, Hume Reserve, the grass there is amazing now because last year no one was playing on it. I think it's rated one of the best surfaces in the state, Mario.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So love to have you there one day again.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, MJ.
All the very, very best. That was MJ Monaghan from, formerly of Corio Soccer.